Hello everybody, I'm Brendan Crowley, President of Wexford Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Emma Dunphy, CEO of County Wexford Chamber. You are now listening to County Wexford Chamber podcast.
Today we're going to be talking to Gillian and Nina from Sully and Juno, which is a new business, won the new business startup of the year at the County Wexford Chamber Business and Awards, which was held recently. So welcome.
Thank you.
So, who will we start with first?
It's always me.
Okay, Jill. Yeah. So tell us, where did it all begin?
So we have been friends for about 5 years. We wanted to set something up together. And we wanted it to be, we knew we wanted to set up a kids' clothing range. We didn't really know where we were going to go with it. We had ideas, colour, we wanted to be Oscuelga and all those things. And when we kind of got down into it, we decided if we're going to get we're going to start from scratch, we'll make it inclusive. So for us, inclusivity was to do with sensory issues and things like that. So we started out thinking about a clothing company, and by the time we actually launched, we were the Ireland's only sensory friendly design house. So. Okay,
just tell us more about the sensory side of things. What?
So for us, for sensory kind of can mean anything, but for us, for our brand, it means that the seams on our clothing are flat, that the tags are printed rather than swing tags or hang tags on the clothing, and it means that children, especially children, we do make clothes for adults as well, but children wearing them can experience a kind of a softer, more sensory-friendly garment. A lot of children who have sensory needs can find things like tags and seams very irritating and very distracting. So we try to eliminate that as much as possible.
Okay, and is this something that's close to home for you? Where did you identify that there was a need for this?
So for myself, my 3 boys are autistic. I have 3 boys who are 9 and 8 and nearly 7, and they're autistic. And we, in our house, we have to take sensory needs into account before we take anything else into account. So you might go out as a parent of a neurotypical kid, you might go out and just say, I like that, it's blue, I'm going to buy it because it'll go as green shorts. But for us, it's, I like that, let's turn it inside out and see what the tag feels like and see what the seams feel like and see if it's tight, see if it's loose. So all of these things are things that parents of children who are autistic experience a lot. So when we decided that we were going to do this and we were sort of starting from the ground up, we just said, you know what, we're going to make it inclusive if we can. As inclusive as we can, because I think with autism, it's very much an individual thing. So taking all those things into account, this is where we are now.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's not so obvious with the clothes. They just...
Oh, no. And they're not designed to be aimed specifically at children with sensory needs. It's a children's clothing company. And, well, it's a clothing... We are branching out now and doing adults' clothes, so I have to kind of keep saying that. But it's a clothing company making clothing for everyone, if we can.
Yeah. Amazing. Nina, I'm coming to you next.
No worries.
The name, where Sully and Juno, where did it?
That was really easy. We have 4 children each.
Okay.
And Sully is Gillian's youngest and Juno is my child's youngest name. So we named it after our 2 youngest children.
Great. And this relationship, have you been friends for years? Where did it all begin with you?
We were friends online through a Facebook group for about 2 years. And then 5 years ago, when our children were starting junior infants, we met at the steps of the school and didn't realise that each other had lived in Wexford all this time. So it was like, oh, there she is. She's my new best friend. And it's been like that for 5 years.
Yeah.
So do you have any rows?
Not really.
Not really. We're very diplomatic. There's no boss, there's no hierarchy or anything like that. But we've had a couple of times where we've been very diplomatic with one another. But we have to be able to do that. We have to be able to park being friends, and we're in business together. And these are decisions and conversations we have to have, and then we can go back and drink gin and go out that night.
All right, okay. And you kind of picked it was a difficult time for most businesses when you actually started your business. In the middle of COVID. And I know you kind of started off working from home, is that correct?
That's right, yeah. So I had an annex to the house that I was living in, and we moved into the annex and quickly outgrew it. But it was quite a big space, and we thought, we'll be here for a year. About 3 months later, we couldn't sit at our desks because there was boxes of stock under the desks. We were hiding boxes anywhere we could. So at that stage, then we had to go and find
We were
somewhere.
like, let's get Christmas out of the way and
find
somewhere
new
else to live.
yeah.
So it's kind of I was saying to you outside, you were ahead of the working from home thing, but it didn't really work out that way. That working from home is not an option here because you're so busy.
It's really great though, because the premises that we have is really close to the primary school. So we drop the kids to school, we go to work, and when the kids are finished school, we go home. And if we have to work in the evening, we'll work in the evening, but it works really well for us.
Yeah.
And is it just the two of you, or?
There's the two of us and plus a husband occasionally.
We don't share a husband, it's my husband.
Well, both of our husbands are called Rob, but it's not the same Rob.
Yeah, no, it's not the same Rob. We have...
You have a lot in common, haven't you?
We do. Yeah, the Robs. We at the moment we're working on hiring, so we're in the next month we should have a couple of staff members, because the way we are at the moment, we're dragging in friends, we're dragging in family to kind of help us out, because like we start with design, and then we have our stuff manufactured, but we then get it into Wexford, we customize it ourselves, we run the website ourselves, we package everything up, we send it out, we do all the admin, we do everything. The really only other person who helps us out is an accountant, and other than that,
and our social media.
And our social, and Kelly, of course, we have a social media manager now. Yeah. But we do everything. So it's kind of gotten to the point now where there aren't enough hours in the day.
Well, we know what Christmas was like. We had no idea what Christmas was going to be like last year. So we are very well aware of what it could potentially be this year, and we definitely need help. So we've 2 people waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
So you're gearing up now.
So it has to be someone's boss. I don't think I'll be able to
talk about Christmas in June, but like you have to be. You just have to.
Actually, I noticed you mentioned earlier that the clothing can have whatever the customer wants written on it, and you mentioned Oscuelga, like that. Obviously, people are having their messages in Irish, but you're sending garments all around the world. So do you have problems with other languages, or do people come and say that's not the way you say that?
Yeah, we actually ask people to be, if somebody wants something in a different language, I only speak English and Irish, so I don't speak any other languages. We ask them to very specifically write out exactly what they like. We get them to double check it, and then we print it. And we have made one error. We have a Spanish jumper in our office that's never going to go anywhere because there's a misspelling on it. But
does it spell anything it shouldn't spell?
No, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Actually, it might do, but I couldn't tell you. But we had a lot of people, because our flagship product is called a Juno jumper, and it has the child's name and then Is Anam Dum. So Juno Is Anam Dum. That's all. It's very simple. We had a lot of people buying them during the lockdown for their family who they haven't met yet, their nieces and nephews and grandchildren, and who are locked down in maybe New Zealand, or there was a family in Brooklyn, and they wanted to send them to them, and it was kind of a show me you're Irish without tell me you're Irish without telling me you're Irish, and they were going all over the world, and it was lovely to get pictures back. And there was one customer who they had bought them for the nieces in somewhere in America, and they bought them for their own kids and their nieces at home, and then they sent us a picture in March of all the kids sitting on a bench in Dunleary, I think, and they had all come over, and they were all sitting in a row in their jumpers that they had, and it was so nice. It's such a nice thing to get. Like, we all of our products on all of our product images on our website, most of them are customers who've sent us pictures back. And our social media is all people sending us pictures of their kids and our products. So it's really, really nice. Like it's sort of it's a real sense of achievement. Really
feel good
to see one in the wild is just amazing. We get family and friends sending us pictures. Look, I was out on the beach and someone's wearing one of your kids' numbers, and it's really cool. Like it's really, really cool. Yeah.
Can I ask? Obviously, the two of you both have had specific needs yourself. It was your own family needs that kind of brought this business about, and the two of you. It's great that coincidence that you were actually friends and you didn't really know it, if you like, face to face, but ultimately you got together, you started a business together. Had you any business experience, or did you get help from somebody to get this up and running? Because we all know there's so many different aspects to running a business.
My background is finance. I've always worked in finance for the last 20 years.
Okay, that helps.
And I'm kind of an organised person. I like spreadsheets, I like reconciliations and all that kind of stuff. Where Jill is a creative person. I couldn't come up with any of it. So we're yin and yang, if that makes sense. Jill has had a business before.
Which every business needs.
Yeah, it's true. Jill has run an online business with her husband for years before, and then we came along and decided we were going to do something together. So we're the opposite of one another.
Yeah, we are. And all of my weaknesses are her strengths, and all of her strengths are and vice versa, and it works really well. Because otherwise, I mean, if there's two really creatives and no business person, then you could make amazing things but sit in a corner and never sell them. And then vice versa, if you're really good at sort of sales and marketing and selling. But don't have a creative bone, you just can't, you can't really go anywhere. So it does work really
I knew
well.
I'd be good at it, but I just didn't have the idea. I wanted to do something myself. I wanted to be my own boss, and I wanted to, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then, we got talking. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a young entrepreneur out there, somebody who wants to start their own business?
Go for it.
Go for it. Go for it. Just do it.
Be brave.
Yeah.
There was many people that were like, "Oh, are you sure? Oh, there's a recession on and a lockdown." And no, you know what? If you don't ever take the chance, you'll never know.
Yeah.
Back yourself.
And invest what you can afford. That's what we did.
Yeah.
We started off, we didn't have an awful lot of money between the two of us. We put in a couple of grand each, and then every penny we made, we put it back in. Haven't taken a wage in a year, put it back in. And that's where we've got to. So
yeah.
Well, we won't ask you how much money you're making or not making, but I think people would love to hear how many, you're sending quite a bit of stuff around. What kind of countries are we
everywhere, every corner of the globe we've sent something to. And in fact, it was last week, wasn't it, Jill, that we had sold our 3,000th Juno jumper.
Yeah.
Wow.
In 9 months.
Yeah.
So that's
just one particular
That's just
product.
one brand. That's just one item. Yeah. So that's just blows my mind.
So you have a range of products.
Yeah, we've got lots. We've got quite a good few designs now. We started off with one, and I couldn't tell you how many we have. We have many.
Yeah, 20. We've about 20.
Yeah, and it's sort of started off where we were selling most of one product, and the odd few bits of the rest, and now it's kind of becoming a thing now where people are coming along and buying all different things.
People
It's
are going
really
for the
nice.
collection.
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
isn't
but
it?
That's exactly it. Somebody will come and buy something, and 3 weeks later they're back and they're buying something else and something else. We've got a
our
good return.
return is double the industry rate at the moment.
Yeah.
So we have return customers. A lot of people have kind of come back 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah. And how are you marketing the product? Like, is it all through social media?
We started off on just paying for Instagram ads because we were working so hard. We just said, you know what, I'm just going to throw money at this and let Instagram do its job. And then in January, we hired a 24-year-old. Because when you are in your 30s and 40s,
I'm not going to go any higher than that there, is it?
like, it's very hard to get to grips and things like TikTok and whatever the new thing is, because we have 2 15-year-old daughters. We have one each, and they're great for helping us out, but they're obviously busy. So what we did was we thought we'll hire somebody young. So Kelly does all of our...
I knew her in a previous life, and
Right.
I knew what she was like, and she's really
Brilliant.
fantastic
She fits
and
in and she's
really bouncy, and she's just loves taking pictures. Off you go.
Yeah. So we have someone who follows us around and takes videos of us while we're working now, and it's a bit odd, but it's a bit of crack. And then she'll take 3 hours worth of film and make it into a 30-second video and put it on Instagram and make it look really, really effortless.
And we have, what did we have? 144,000 people liked it or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But it seems like you've kind of, you're through your own personal experience, you identified something, a gap in the market, and you've identified an opportunity, and you really are taking advantage of that. And I mean, when I say, in a good way, and I'm sure there are lots of people out there who must write back to you and just say, listen, this is fantastic.
Yeah, we get it a lot. It's a really nice thing. It's we've had people send us cards, like actual wrote out a letter and a card to say, my kid loves this. It's been hard to get him dressed in the mornings, and he likes this, or whatever it is. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice. We get a lot of people sending us pictures every day. We have people sending us photographs of their kids, and wearing, wherever they are in the world, wearing what they've gotten from us, and it's really nice. Like, it's really it's we're still at the stage where when somebody buys something, we kind of go, "Ooh, we have a sale," or the excitement's still there. Always. We've had what, 2,500 sales this year, and every single one we've seen it's come up on our phone. There's a little ka-ching that the phone makes, and then you go, "Ooh," and you have a little look and you see what it is, and we still are at the stage, and I hope we stay that way where we just celebrate every single sale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Well, what is it like to have a business in Wexford?
It's great.
It's great.
It is. There's a lot of support.
My life.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of support. We've had a lot of support from parents at our kids' school. Our kids go to a smaller school, and everybody knows each other. But we've had a lot of, support, a lot of, a lot of love and a lot of help. And we've especially, like, there's been a lot of small businesses in Wexford who've ordered from us, and they'll share us on their social medias, and they'll say, "Oh, I bought this for," not relevant to what they're doing necessarily, and they'll, they support each other. And we've had now it's starting to kind of come around where there's new businesses coming up, and they're asking us, "Where do you get your packaging?" or "Who do you go to for this?" or "Who helps you?" And everybody kind of there's a big business community in Wexford that help each other out, and
Wexford is very creative. It's
Yeah.
really creative. That's what I noticed when I moved down here.
Yeah.
And there's lots of independence. And you think, that's so nice.
Yeah.
It's just so nice in this county.
Yeah, I think a lot of people come here, like myself, both of us have moved to Wexford from Dublin, and moved to Wexford because we wanted to get away from that, just the mundane kind of busyness of Dublin, and settle somewhere where the pace is kind of a bit slower. And yeah, it's a really creative town. I think in Wexford, if you say, "I want to start a business," someone
People are like,
go for it.
Yeah.
There's so much
support's there.
It doesn't matter what you want to do.
Like one of my friends is a stuntman. Like, I didn't have a friend who was a stuntman when I lived in Dublin. And you say that to anybody down here, like, "Oh yeah, I know him too." It's like, it's just, it's not unusual.
Yeah. It's one of those
plenty of
towns.
unusual characters.
Yeah, but I love that. I love that
about Wexford.
It's a great town. If you want to write a play in Wexford, you say, people will say, "Yeah, do it, go for it." I know a guy who did that, and people aren't necessarily, and we are, I will say, but people aren't necessarily doing things so that they're successful. They do it because that's their passion and they want to follow it.
Yeah.
We do want to be successful, obviously we're in business, but we also are doing it because we want to get up in the morning and enjoy going to work. Hop, skip and jump into work every day instead of just going through the motions and getting home in the evening. Yeah, there's so much of that in Wexford.
Yeah.
It really, really is.
One of the things about you mentioned about Wexford, and it's just something being from Wexford myself, I think that people celebrate other people's success.
Yes.
If a business is successful,
that's from my town.
it's our people almost take ownership of it.
Yeah.
It's a Wexford business. It's a Wexford. So it sounds like your friends and your community have plenty to look forward to in the future.
Absolutely.
I think so.
It's been great so far.
And congratulations.
Thank you so much.
This story alone is just absolutely brilliant, and wish you the very best of luck for whatever future plans you have in store. So thank you to both Nina and Jill, and thanks for listening to County Wexford Chamber podcast with your hosts Emma Dunphy
and Brendan Crowley.
Thanks.
Thank you.